Hi guys, M13 here. I'm going to talk about the comfort zone. The comfort zone while riding, like where you're comfortable, what speeds you're comfortable at riding at. Because for different riders, it's different things. And that's it's so extreme that like one rider could be riding along one-handed while thinking about something, or like just kind of casual one-handed and going through some bends, while the rider behind him trying to pace him could have both hands death grip, pupils dilated, heart racing, adrenaline pumping, and they're both doing exactly the same speed. But meanwhile, one rider's all just chilled out, not even trying, and the other rider is not only trying, but they're like past their limit to the point where they're using adrenaline to to combat the panic that they're feeling. And how can that be? How can two riders be so handle the exact same road in two extremely different ways? Well, obviously it's like skill level and experience combined. Like, chances are the first rider who's riding one-handed has done that road many times before, and maybe he's a skilled rider, so he's not nervous, and he knows the corners, and he knows what speed he can take them at comfortably. And the rider following him, maybe it's his first time on a motorcycle. That would be an extreme example, but maybe he's only been riding for a week or two, and he's trying to keep up with the guy in front of him who knows the road like the back of his hand, and who is also on the weekends a racer or something, who actually races on the racetrack, while the guy behind him following him has only been riding for a bit and never been on a racetrack on his life, etc. and so forth. So the comfort zone is completely different for different people. Like the safest possible speed on a given road for one person might be entirely different for another. So how do you increase your safe zone? Your comfort zone? How do you make, if you're the guy in the back with your adrenaline pumping and your pupils dilated, etc., how do you get to the point where you're the guy in front of you? Well, obviously you learn to ride better. But one thing you need to do is, like, I found when I used to work in another city, I would ride to work every day full out. Okay, like every single day, going to work, coming home from work, I would ride full throttle through traffic. And I did it every single day. So it got to the point where, I'm doing double, triple the speed limit through traffic in a situation where if you make the slightest mistake, you're going to crash horribly, worse than on a racetrack. Like what I was doing makes most racers look like pussies, because on a racetrack, everyone's going the same speed and everything's pretty predictable. But try doing triple the speed limit through rush hour traffic on a daily basis. Like, now that's dangerous. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm just pointing out facts here. Like, a lot of track riders, a lot of racers, professional racers, they'll say, like, yeah, I don't ride on the street, I only ride on the track. And you're like, why is that? Oh, because I feel the street is too dangerous. Like, you've heard it. I've heard that a dozen times from racers, that they use their motorcycles for the racetrack, and for day-to-day for regular streets they use cars. But it's interesting because every once in a while I'll think to myself, yeah, I should ride fast like I used to. Maybe I should just shoot to the next town at like triple the speed limit like I used to. But when I try to do it, my adrenaline starts pumping, my pupils start dilating, and my grip starts getting too tight, even though that's a big negative with riding. It inversely affects the handling of a vehicle if you tighten your grip. So why is it that I used to be perfectly comfortable and now I'm not? And the answer is obvious. It's practice. I'm out of practice. I haven't done it in a while. So what you need to do is you need to find out like your quickest comfortable speed, and you need to try to do that, on a semi-regular basis, and then you need to try to push it a little bit, and then the more you push it, the more you get more comfortable going a bit quicker. And and maybe you're thinking and then, like, it's not just about being an idiot and doing double the speed limit. It's also about the fact that if there's an opportunity where you need to go quick, will you be able to? An example, what was an example of that? Well, in my life, there's been a couple of times where people in cars have tried to kill me. Off the top of my head, I can think of about 5-6 examples, and not all, most of them in Asia, but I can think of, there's a few in Canada. I can think off the top of my head, I can think of one in Canada. I passed some guy, some fucking redneck in a big ass fucking pickup truck in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And for those of you from Winnipeg, and I know there's a few of you, I was going by the BDI on what's that road called? Is it Wilkes? I'm not sure. But the bridge, the BDI ice cream. You know, it's past Osborne. Anyways, so I'm going down the street, and there's this big black fucking pickup truck, and I pass him. Simple as that. I just pass him. I don't fucking cut him off. I don't just pass him. He doesn't like me passing him. I was going quick. I was doing like double the speed limit, so maybe that, you know, people are fucking dumb when it comes to shit like that. If someone flies by me, what the fuck does that have to do with me? Anyway, so I pass him, and he just decided to chase after me. And next thing I know, like, he was like on my ass, and I was just full out on the throttle, man. And I rode a cruiser back in those days, so it was more difficult for me to get away from him. And it ended up being like quite the chase, man. I was doing like triple the speed limit in Canada, blowing through stop signs and shit without even checking, because I had a big ass 4x4 on my ass. So, but anyways, because I'd already ridden quick enough times in the past, I felt fairly comfortable. It's all just about experience and whatnot. But like, I worry, because if you're a casual rider that always rides casual, and then the odd time comes where you need to ride fast for one reason or another, and you just, you know, you can't do it at all because you don't have any skills. You need to practice. You need to get out of your comfort zone. That's what I'm trying to say. Every once in a while, you need to push it a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. And if you push it a little bit enough times, then you'll be able to push it a little bit more. And then sooner or later, you'll be able to fit it in anally, and she'll enjoy it, even though she says it hurts. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about. That I was just thinking about it. It's been a while since I've ridden this road, and I used to be really fast on this road, and now I'm a bit out of practice.
We found the perfect babysitter for JD. We're at the skateboarding park. This thing, man, look at that. You just put him down there, give him some water. He's got a sewer hole right there. That's all you need. He can't get out of this thing. It's safe enough in there. He's not gonna, there's no sharp edges or anything. If I put JD in there, he could literally not get out. And then I could just go walk around the park. There's a whorehouse, see, with the pointed steeples kind of over there on that building. That's actually it's a massage parlor, but they give hand jobs for an extra $50. They'll full on sex. So I could put my kid in this hole. I could go over there, have a good time, come back. He'd still be here. He's not getting out.